Cheers and welcome back to Irondale Brewing. It is finally brew day. I've had a lot of time off while I redid my range hood. You can see the previous video if you're interested in all that process. So this is the first day on the new range hood, and I'm going to be doing a green tea cream ale. And for this batch, I'm going to be doing extract with flaked yellow corn, as you can see there. I like doing extract for stuff like this because it's a good, quick, and easy way to get it kind of a generic base beer when I want to see kind of what some maybe less common ingredients are going to do. And you know, I've done that with fruit extract and stuff like that. If I just kind of want to see, is this going to taste like garbage or not? And then if it does work out, then kind of develop a more full blown all grain recipe around that. So anyway, that's what I like to do. So in this case, we're going to be using 1 pound 6 ounces of Golden Light DME, 1 pound 6 ounces of Pilsen Light DME, 6 ounces of flaked corn that we're going to steep at 150 for about 30 minutes. And then the main ingredient is green tea. So this is loose leaf green tea from Tea Source. And basically the concept I'm going for here, I've tried green tea once before and I used matcha powder. It was fine. It just didn't work out kind of the way I wanted to. So I'm going to take another run at it with loose leaf green tea. And the idea here is that I'm going to basically steep it as the wort is chilling down at, you know, the typical green tea temperature, which for this one, it says 195. So I may throw it in, you know, around that temperature and just let it sit in there for about 3 minutes while things are still chilling down. And then after primary fermentation is done, I'm going to dry hop or dry tea the cream ale with another ounce of the loose leaf green tea, and we'll see what we wind up with. What I'm looking for, hopefully, is some good green tea aroma, which I hope the steeping will do, and then some, you know, kind of that smoothness, little bit of grassiness from green tea when I dry hop. So that's the theory. We'll see if it works out. But again, that's why I like doing extract for stuff like this. It's like, I just want to try something. That's a quick and easy way to do it. So I'm going to be doing a 30-minute boil also. So we're doing 0.34 ounces of Saaz hops at 30 minutes, 0.13 ounces of Hallertauer Hersbrucker at 30 minutes, and another 0.17 ounces of Saaz at 10 minutes. And that's what we're going for today. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started with 3 gallons of RO water. And I think I forgot to mention when I started this whole video that this is a 2.5 gallon batch in case some of the volumes seem strange. And I am going to add 2 grams of calcium chloride to the RO water. A lot of people say, well, if you're going to do extract, you don't really need to do anything with your water. I kind of think it adds a little bit of something in my experience. And if you read the John Palmer How to Brew book, he has a whole section on brewing water related specifically extract brewing. He has some good recommendations in there. So we're going to add that to just give a little bit of extra. Should bring out a little bit more of the maltiness and creaminess of this recipe. All right, first brew day in a while, so this may be a little bit chaotic, but I got through my 3 gallons of water in the pot and on the induction cooktop. I'm going to start getting that up to temperature to 150, and as it's coming up to temperature, I will dump in my, now you can see this 44 ounces of dry malt extract. I got my 6 ounces of flaked corn measured out. I'm just going to drop that in my small brew bag that I use for real small batches. It works well for that. So let's get this started. And there is kind of differing opinions on boiling the extract. I've done, you know, kind of all different ways. Usually what I end up doing is putting in half the extract at the beginning, because it's better to have, if you have steeping grains or doing a mini mash, it's better to have something in there for that stuff to work with. And then add the second half towards the end, kind of like right as late as you can. In this case, I'm just going to go for it because I have enough other variables going on. Downside might be that it's a little bit darker, but again, this is an experimental batch, And if I like the results or think I can, figure out how to get the tea to work really well, then I'll do an all grain version of this, or tweak it in other ways, depending on how it all works out. So basically, dry malt extract, you just want to whisk the hell out of it. So, get rid of all the clumps and nothing stuck to the bottom. And I'll add the flaked corn in here after I get this all mixed in. Okay, and then we'll get my flaked corn in the brew bag here. That's 6 ounces. This bag is way bigger than it needs to be for 6 ounces of corn, but the main thing you want to avoid is having stuff so packed in there that the water can't flow through it. So this overkill is better for the size of the bag. Let's go ahead and clip that to the side. Man, I am rusty. Been too many weeks dealing with other issues. Plus first brew day I'm recording, which will make me paranoid also. And if you can see this, but I have one of these. This is pretty handy dot thermometer with just a probe that goes in there. It's pretty instant read, and you can set alarms on it and stuff. I have all that stuff turned off, but I find it really handy for monitoring mash temperatures. And this anvil kettle tends to hold temperature pretty well, actually. So once you get it up to a good mash temperature, I've found anyway that it stays there pretty darn stable. I just have to give it a little kick of heat, maybe once or twice over the course of an hour mash, and don't have any issues. So I've lost the towel. Oh, there it is. Get my setup cleaned up too, because this is not how I normally do things. All right, we're at 75 degrees. We'll let it right up to 150, and then we'll hold it there for about 30 minutes. So we're at about 130 on our way to 150, and it is looking and smelling awesome. Got the initial round of hops measured out, way ahead of schedule, but like to be doing stuff while I'm just waiting on temperatures to happen. But I'll put the lid back on and check back in a bit. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to steep for a little while longer, I thought I'd talk a little bit about a couple of other things. I think I forgot to mention there's 3 ounces of dextrose in this that is going in at 5 minutes left in the boil. US-05 is the yeast because I want to focus on the tea. I don't want any weird yeast stuff going on in this at this phase. And then I want to talk a little bit about how I'm going to dry hop with the tea. So basically, I'm going to do the modified lid on this fermenter that has a gas post coming out of it and a blow-off tube, and I'm going to leave it closed the whole time and do a very light pressure transfer into the keg once it's done. But that does mean if I don't want to open it to dry hop with the tea, I do need to do the sous vide magnet trick, and that's not my invention. I've seen it on several videos, probably first on Homebrew for Life, if I had to guess. But anyway, the idea here is that basically you can leave it closed if you start with a magnet in. This is the bag that the tea is going to be in, and then one on the outside. They stick together, and when you are ready to dry hop with the tea, you just yank that magnet off, and down it will go. So we're about halfway through the 30-minute steep here, and I just wanted to show that it's at 151. I had to turn on the burner for about 2 seconds when it dropped down to 149. So, again, for this setup and for this, type of equipment, the anvil kettle seems to hold the temperature pretty darn well, and I've had good luck with it for a small batch all grain too. All right, got the corn out of there. We're bringing things up to a boil. The new range hood is on, and I see steam going up in there, so that's a good start. We'll see how it survives over the 30-minute boil. But yeah, I think the other thing I'm hoping is that with the reduced boil time, and I'm going to try to keep it not maybe as vigorous as I've been doing before, that should help with the condensation issues as well. So once the boil hits, we'll start doing our hop addition. While we're waiting for things to come to a boil, quick tip on keeping your brew bag clean. If you use a brew bag, I just, right after I dump all the grains out, throw some oxygen brewery wash in a bowl, filled up warm water, and let the bag soak kind of while I'm doing the rest of the brewing process. And kind of if I'm waiting on something else like chilling, yank it out of there, rinse it out. That keeps things pretty darn clean. All right, we're getting close to a boil. I'm going to give it a quick stir to hopefully avoid any potential crazy boil over. Don't think that's going to be an issue with this volume, but it smells absolutely fantastic. Nice and creamy, and you can smell that corn. I think this is going to be good. So for some reason, my phone wasn't responding when I wanted to show the hops going in, but the first hop addition went in. I did turn the power down a little bit. Once you get it to a boil, 2400 seems to be plenty to keep a nice, that's probably even maybe more vigorous than it needs to be boil going. And again, the range hood seems to be working well so far. So with the fan on the range hood set to 5, since the trial or the maiden voyage of the new range hood setup, with that at 5, the condensation or the steam was still kind of rolling off to the sides a little bit. So I just turned it up to 8, and that really seems to be pulling it right up the center now. So I think we're going to be in good shape. Since I think things are going to get hot and heavy once the boil is over, I'm going to go ahead and measure my tea out now. It's a nice loose leaf green tea from Tea Source, and it smells fantastic. It's nice and earthy, grassy. I think that should be nice. If you like green tea. If you don't, of course, it might not be your thing, but I'm going to get 1 ounce of that measured out that we're going to let ride as the wort chills down, kind of in a normal green tea steeping fashion. Okay, we're about halfway through the 30-minute boil, so I went ahead and threw my chiller in there, get it sanitized. I guess I haven't really talked about my setup much, but basically when I had this space built out, I had them stick a hose bib under the sink. It's RO filter there, water drop, RO filter. And then basically it makes it really handy to just kind of run that out and up there. I do have a jaded chiller as well. This is just a stainless steel Northern Brewer. I kind of want to use the one that's a little bit less intense for this because I don't want the temperature to drop super fast while I'm trying to steep that tea. So try that other chiller next time. All right, since I missed the last one, 10-minute hop addition, more Saaz hops. All right, and at 5 minutes, we're doing 3 ounces of dextrose and whirl flat. Got whisked in, trying to do things one-handed. Not the most convenient, sorry for the weirdness. Whoa, steam galore. Alright. Was doing too many things at once here and didn't get to record me dropping the tea in there, but there it is. While the wort is chilling, we're going to leave it in there for 3 minutes. Alright, tea is coming out, and then we'll just let it chill down to pitching temperature. We are rapidly approaching pitching temperature. Thought I'd take a second and show the Fermonster lid setup. So that is a gas ball lock post. See underneath there's a gasket and a nut holding that in place. And then I'll put a blow-off tube into a mason jar and then do the sous vide magnet trick in the Fermonster to dry hop with the tea when the time comes. All right, trying out a new, this was an inexpensive digital refractometer. It's coming out at 11.7 bricks. I will have to look up what that is in the normal measurement that I can't think of the name of off the top of my head. This one only does bricks, which is probably why it was cheap. But anyway, thought I'd give it a shot. Okay, about to pitch the yeast, and there's the green tea suspended with the sous vide magnet. I hope that's tall enough that it won't get too involved with the fermentation, but we'll see. This is a lot of new experiments on this batch. All right, pitching a whole packet of US-05. I find that, for a 2.5 gallon batch, just use the whole thing. Technically half would probably be plenty, but can't hurt to overpitch a little bit. All right, and there it is with the lid on, ready for the blow-off tube. Mason jar of Star San, and I need to clean up the front. Had a little bit of a hose slip, but volume came out almost exactly right, and that was a lucky accident because I didn't test the new boil-off rate with the new fan and with the 30-minute boil and all that, so that seemed about right. If I start with 3 gallons, it seemed to get it down to about 2.5 in the fermenter, which is what I was shooting for. All right, and there it is in the fermentation chamber. And we'll do that at 68 for 2 weeks. After about a week, I will pull that magnet and drop that green tea down in there. It's an ounce of loose leaf green tea, and let it dry hop in quotes with the green tea, and we'll see how that goes. And then for the transfer, what I'll end up doing is putting just a little bit of pressure, CO2, going in the gas post there, and that will force it out the spigot down at the bottom. I think I'm going to do a full floating dip tube double post version of the Fermonster at some point, but that'll probably be coming in the future. But anyway, that's it for this video, and we will check in periodically and do a tasting when it's done. Well, cheers to finishing a brew day. That's that porter I made a couple of months ago. It's aging really nicely, but it's getting to be past porter season, so we'll finish it up. But yeah, it's the roastiness is still there, but a little bit less. Not that it was harsh to begin with, but it's definitely mellowed out. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. But it's getting warmer, and I'm looking to forward to different styles. Hence the green tea cream ale that I took a shot at today. Brew day review. The range hood, I'll give it a solid B+. Vast improvement over what I was dealing with before. Had a couple of little drips, and I mean just a couple. So yeah, that was definitely well worth the effort. The only way to get it perfect probably would be to get a true condensate hood, but this will be great for now. As far as the rest of it, I think the only thing I'd change, well, I was rusty because I hadn't brewed in a couple of months, so I found myself like doing a lot of grabbing stuff from the wrong side. I did not have my rhythm I had going previously, so I'll get less rusty the more I brew. And then the tea, the only thing I would change is I would let it kind of ride the temperature down naturally after boil, just shut it off and let it go naturally to the tea steeping temperature, because when I kicked the wort chiller on, our groundwater is not super cold or anything, but it was cold enough that it shot kind of past the temperature a little quicker than I would have liked. So I left it in there a little bit longer. That's the one thing I would definitely change for next time. But that was only one aspect of the tea. I got another ounce that'll be dry hopped here in about a week. So yeah, overall, it was good to get back in the groove after being out of commission because of the range hood situation for a while. And I have ingredients and recipes lined up for several beers coming up. The kegerator will be overflowing here pretty quickly. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.